Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a really interesting piece of kit, the Bluefish444 EB3006F Epoch 4K Neutron LP.
Yeah, it's one of those bits of hardware that kind of makes you look twice. Our goal here is to dig into what this compact video I/O card actually means for you, the pro user working with 4K, whether it's color,
Yeah.
QC, or live graphics.
Exactly. And the first thing that jumps out is the size versus what it claims to do. It's a low-profile half-length card, really small,
Tiny.
but handles full 4K. So how does something that compact manage that kind of, data throughput?
Right, that's the immediate question. So physically, it is low-profile half-length. It's a 4-lane PCIe Gen 1 card.
Gen 1, that feels a bit dated, doesn't it, for 2024?
It does on the surface.
Right.
But you have to figure it was likely a deliberate choice. Gen 1 helps manage power draw and, crucially, heat. Think about fitting this into really tight spaces like portable DIT cards or small form factor machines.
Okay, so the Gen 1 lane speed is maybe a trade-off for thermals and size, but then bandwidth for 4K, how's that handled?
That's where the SDI connections come in. It uses dual-link 3G SDI. That's how it achieves up to DCI or UHD 4K resolution, specifically at 30 frames per second.
DCI 4K, so the 4096 cinema standard, or UHD 3840.
Precisely. And the really key part is that it has 3 BNC connectors, and they're all independent and bidirectional.
Ah, bidirectional, so capture and play out simultaneously on the same ports.
Yep, exactly. Huge flexibility there. Which, brings up the next point. Signal quality. How does it maintain a high-quality signal path in that tiny footprint? Let's talk performance.
Yeah, because it's easy to compromise quality when you shrink things down.
For sure. But this is where Bluefish often stands out. We're talking a full 12-bit video signal path. Not 8-bit, not 10-bit, but 12-bit processing right through.
That 12-bit is critical for series color work or HDR, right? Non-negotiable, really.
Absolutely. From ingest right through to monitoring.
Yeah.
And then there's latency. You need quality, but you also need speed.
Especially for live or QC applications. What are we looking at latency-wise?
It's marketed as having super low latency. Subfield or subframe, which is incredibly fast. Essential for live graphics insertion or just accurate monitoring during QC.
Okay, how do they pull that off?
Well, part of it is the full duplex DMA direct memory access for efficient data transfer to and from the host system's memory. Plus, it has 256 millivapors of RAM right there on the card.
Ah, onboard memory for buffering. Makes sense.
Yeah, helps handle those data bursts without choking. But beyond just speed and quality, there are other pro features crammed in here.
Like what? What didn't get cut for size?
Well, crucially, a hardware downstream keyer that's massive for live production. You can overlay graphics without hitting your main CPU hard.
Which is often the bottleneck in compact setups.
Exactly. And for color accuracy, there's a proper 4x4x33-bit color matrix. Ensures really precise color space conversions, like going between Rec. 709 and P3, stuff like that.
Nice. What about sync and audio, the fundamentals?
Yep, got those covered. High-performance bypass relays, so if the machine fails, the signal can still pass through. Audio is embedded, 16 channels of SDIO, including Dolby Digital Pass-Through.
And sync. Can it lock to house sync?
It can. One of those 3 bidirectional BNCs can actually be switched in software to function as a dedicated reference input. Genlock, tri-level sync, all that. Very flexible.
Okay, so the hardware's packed. How does it fit into different workflows? OS support.
Pretty broad, actually. Mac, Windows, Linux. Supports macOS 10.8 or later, Windows 7 and up, plus CentOS and a good tune on the Linux side.
Standard stuff. What about expansion?
This is interesting. It's fully compatible with Thunderbolt expansion chassis. Those external boxes from Sonnet or similar brands.
Right, so you could put this card in an external Thunderbolt box connected to a laptop or a Mac Mini.
Precisely. And that opens up possibilities for modular, powerful mobile rigs. Imagine this card plus maybe a fast PCIe SSD or a RAID controller, all in the same Thunderbolt enclosure.
Suddenly, your laptop becomes a serious mobile DI station or ingest rig.
Exactly. And they provide a cross-platform SDK for developers, plus their own free Ingestore software for basic capture. So if it's into broadcast graphics, post, live events, QC, even video over IP workflows.
So, considering everything, the 12-bit path, the dual-link 4K 30p, the ultra-low latency, the hardware keyer, the Thunderbolt option, this little card, which is currently around, what, $2,700?
Yeah, about $2,695, I think.
Yeah.
There might be deals sometimes, like that 10% off code mentioned.
Right. It's basically a compact but full-featured 4K I/O hub.
That's a good way to put it. It really synthesizes a lot of capability into a small space. Which leads to kind of a final thought.
Go on.
Well, given all that flexibility, the 12-bit processing, low latency, Thunderbolt integration, bidirectional SDI, what kind of really complex mobile production scenario is actually possible now with just this one compact card? Maybe something like a multi-cam field QC setup for high-end acquisition, something that just wasn't practical before without much bigger, more power-hungry gear. It really makes you think about shrinking the footprint without shrinking the capability.